So does this FBI document suggest that Nikola Tesla was an alien from Venus? The FBI has finally declassified its files on Nikola Tesla, but questions still remain. For more than half a century, incredible information about Nikola Tesla has been kept secret, and only recently the FBI declassified document revealed this data, which indicates that a cult scientist was once brought to Earth from Venus. Tesla's mind was almost too great for the limitation of his time's technology. These things make it clear that Tesla was a remarkably intelligent man who was far ahead of his time. In fact, it's been said by many that his inventions were between 300 and 1,000 years ahead of time, and if it were not for Tesla's inventions, the world as we know it would be nearly half a century behind where we are today in terms of technological advancement. This has understandably led many to wonder about Tesla's origins. Was he even from this planet, they ask. Now, according to information from the FBI documents, Nikola Tesla was an alien. In the archives of the FBI's official website, there is a very mysterious document that contains a very unusual statement regarding Nikola Tesla. In addition, the declassified FBI dossier contains information about a certain George Washington Van Tassel, who was engaged in ufology and also worked on the Douglas, Hughes, and Lockheed planes in the 30s and 40s. The text transcript says this: Margaret Storm has been assigned to certain work with the space people as follows. She is writing a book, Return of the Dove, a story of the life of Nikola Tesla, scientist, and the part his invention will play in the new age. Much of the data for this book has been supplied to Mrs. Storm through transcripts received on the Tesla set, a radio type machine invented by Tesla in 1938 for interplanetary communication. Tesla died in 1943, and his engineers did not build the Tesla set until after his death. It was placed in position in 1950, and since that time, the Tesla engineers have been in close touch with spaceships. The space people have visited the Tesla engineers many times and have told us that Tesla was a Venusian, that is from Venus, brought to this planet as a baby in 1856 and left with Mr. and Mrs. Tesla in a remote mountain province in what is now Yugoslavia, end quote. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. Additionally, Margaret Storm, a woman who was tasked with writing a book on Tesla's remarkable life, was reportedly given information through a device that the scientists created in 1938 that was said to allow for, quote, interplanetary communication, end quote. Allegedly, Storm even had contact with these so-called space people. In an interview in May 1959, quote, Tesla was born on board a spacecraft and brought to this planet and placed in the care of Mr. and Mrs. Tesla, end quote. Storm claimed that Tesla was frequently in contact with his fellow Venusians, even visiting him from time to time. In the interview, she states that Tesla had many visitors who arrived in spaceships and that, quote, most of them have come from Venus, end quote. According to the Interplanetary Sessions newsletter, Margaret Storm had been, quote, assigned to certain work with the space people as follows. She is writing a book, Return of the Dove, a story of the life of Nikola Tesla, scientist, and the part is his inventions will play in the new age, end quote. Further, much of the information that Storm used to complete her book was apparently given to her through communication with the space people, the now declassified FBI document goes to say. Much of the data from this book has been supplied to Mrs. Storm through transcripts received on the Tesla set, a radio-type machine invented by Tesla in 1943, and his engineers did not build the Tesla set until after his death. It was placed in operation in 1950, and since that time, the Tesla engineers have been in close contact with spaceships, end quote. Few people have contributed more to the widespread adoption of electricity in today's world than Tesla, a man whose accomplishments range from pioneering the use of alternating current to experimenting with wireless transmissions of electricity over the air. He had over 1,000 invention patents on record, including his 1905 patent known as the art of transmitting electrical energy through the natural medium, which was based on his belief that the Earth was a sort of electrical generator that could supply a nearly endless supply of energy. His triangle-shaped design became known as Tesla's electromagnetic pyramid. He explained that the location of the Egyptian pyramid was responsible for the power. Big Think writes, he, Nikola Tesla, built a tower facility known as the Tesla Experimental Station in Colorado Springs and Wardenclyffe Tower or Tesla Tower on the East Coast that sought to take advantage of the Earth's energy field. The locations were chosen according to the laws of where the pyramids of Giza were built, related to the relationship between the elliptical orbit of the planet and the equator. The design was intended for wireless transmission of energy. Based on the number of patents that Tesla had on record, in addition to the nearly 500 patents that he had either sold or did not register, Tesla would have had to have created an unbelievable 20 inventions every single year. The Interplanetary Sessions newsletters seem to have leave us more questions than answers. Still, it's a remarkable finding for those who believe in alien visitations to our world. Reading the middle part of this letter, Dan Fry and other gentlemen are now en route to New York by automobile. Van Tassel and Art Aho, who will arrive in Mr. Aho's plane. They all plan to be in New York City at the Hotel Diplomat June 17. Probably be here heard next week on Long John's program radio station, WOR. This letter will not reach you in time to sight flying saucers over New York on the night of June 13th from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., but there will again be full-scale operations of flying saucers over all America areas July 1st. This will be in 3 phases. What's the date on this? May 1st, 1956. America areas, July 1st. This will be in 3 phases as follows. New York areas, July 1st, 9 a.m. Washington, D.C. area, 9:25 a.m. General North America areas after 9:25 a.m. And it goes on. Second phase, same area as above. Third phase, full-scale operations over all American areas, beginning at 7 o'clock in the evening of July 1st. The above information has been supplied, it says, by George King, editor of Cosmic Voice, 88 The Drive Mansion, Fulham Road, London, SW6. Also, please note that King George has also published back issues of Cosmic Voice in one volume price. Okay. And it goes on to talk about Margaret Storm being assigned to the work with space people. And the underline area says the space people have visited the Tesla engineers many times and have told us that Tesla was a Venusian brought to this planet as a baby in 1856 and left with Mr. and Mrs. Tesla in a remote mountain province in what is now Yugoslavia. That is weird. This is by Vicky Verna on High and Wise on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.